Star Trek 2 is f***ing awesome, but you already know that. In case you need a refresher, the crew of the Starship Enterprise are ambushed by Khan. They battle to the death, and Spock dies. Now let's take a look at some of the plot holes, awkward things, and other Star Trek stuff. If I get anything wrong, or you have your own explanations, let me know in the comments below. Moorings cleared. Thrusters to station keeping. Ahead 1/4 impulse power.
Full power! Stand.
This is Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Therapy. Aboard the Starship Reliant, we see a diagram for an engineering hull that the ship doesn't have. They mistakenly scout City Alpha 5, thinking it's City Alpha 6. What kind of Starfleet crew misses the fact that a planet is missing from the solar system that they're specifically there to scout? Apparently, it's the type of crew that surrenders their starship to a dozen space prisoners who don't have any projectile weapons. Space Lab Regular 1 has this red flashy thing that shows up again with William Shatner in Airplane 2. Back to City Alpha 5, Chekhov's wearing earphones inside of his helmet. Later, he removes his helmet and the earphones are gone. Chekhov and Captain Terrell run into Khan and his followers, and this would have been a good time for Chekhov to say,
"Cut, now would be a good time."
Let's skip the thing about Chekhov not being on the Enterprise during the events of Space Seed. Everyone knows about that. Instead, let's revisit Chekhov screaming. Khan says he was exiled from Earth 200 years ago in the year 1996. This movie takes place in the year 2285. 1996 would have actually been closer to 300 years ago at this point. Khan has also aged considerably in the 15 years since Space Seed. However, his buddies haven't. They actually look younger now. Back to Regular 1, and David Marcus is butthurt about Starfleet possibly using Project Genesis as a weapon. Maybe he shouldn't have designed the Genesis device as a missile that they shoot at other planets. Aboard the Enterprise, why is Kirk nervous when Saavik pilots the ship out of space dock? And even if she did something batshit insane like saying, "Warp speed now," would anyone obey those orders? Maybe he should accept that tranquilizer from Bones.
There was a marijuana cigarette.
Once Khan and crew hijack the Reliant, he recites some Moby Dick quotes, but modifies them to include some outer space references.
Chase him round the moons of Nibia and round the Antares maelstrom and round perditions.
Keep in mind, dude's been struggling to survive on a desert planet for 15 years. The only way he could have known any of those things is if he just familiarized himself with stellar cartography, and was looking for an excuse to slip them into a homicidal soliloquy. The same goes for when he recites the Klingon proverb. Come on, Khan, let's be real here. You've never even been in the same sector as a Klingon. Khan ambushes the Enterprise. Notice he's wearing a Starfleet captain's uniform jacket. Presumably, it's Captain Terrell's, but he's on the bridge standing behind Khan, still wearing his jacket. And Scotty shows everyone just how batshit crazy he is when he brings his dying nephew to the bridge instead of directly to sickbay. Midshipman First Class Peter Preston is still alive at this point. Maybe it's time for Scotty to lay off the booze. It's just a matter of time before he crashes a starship into something. This diagram shows that the Enterprise has taken damage to her starboard side, though there's no visible damage when we see her starboard side later in the movie. Khan raids Regular 1 for the Genesis device. Apparently Starfleet felt comfortable developing a doomsday weapon here without providing any security. Later, the Reliant fires a warning shot on the Enterprise. Why a warning? Isn't Khan's singular goal to kill Admiral Kirk? Kirk rushes to engineering, and Spock says he's never taken the Kobayashi Maru test. But he's a captain in the command division, and he administers the test to students. Spock's funeral takes place in Torpedo Bay 2, but that location was destroyed earlier in the movie. Well, the movie's over now. Like and subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching, nerd.